Man, my neck hurts.
Ouch.
Look, it just broke it off.
Do you remember that time that my ginormous child jumped on my neck and like basically broke it?
Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, Jonathan got his neck smashed.
I mean,
you were like walking around like an old man.
Dude, I was, yeah.
You were hurt.
Thank the good Lord for the chiropractor. He has fixed me.
Your child is huge. He's kind of like that, what was like the scary guy's name in Goonies?
Yeah, he's a lot like that. Not as intelligent, but yeah.
No, your child, he's kind of like Christian Leitner.
Yeah.
From like the Dick days. He's a good looking kid, but he's just tall and clumsy, and like when he's running, he's like I'm scared he's not gonna be able to stop.
I know.
And like when he hits that wall at the Taekwondo, it's like pow.
He's like, you see the puppies with like the giant paws. That's sort of him right now. He's 7. You'd think he was like 10 if you saw him. You'd like, oh.
And I would say that's like pretty much Gibson headstocks too, because we're pretty much talking about broken headstocks.
Broken headstocks.
And should you get one?
Yes.
I think 100%, 99% of the time, yes.
Maybe.
Like if you see one out there,
depends.
It depends how the repair is done. Obviously, we're gonna get into that.
Right.
But guitars on Gibsons in particular, I mean the headstocks, they break off.
I think they should just break them all at the factory, clean break. There should be a dude at the end, bam, and then they repair them. And then
we've talked about like when they start doing like Murphy Labs, like if they're gonna do like head break relics,
simulated
like
headstock breaks.
And because there are some famous guitars out there with head breaks, so they're gonna simulate that with that, break the headstock on, put it back on. As Derek says this all the time when he walks in. He says, a broken headstock that's been repaired is more strong than a normal headstock.
He says that all the time.
He walks. I see him pacing the hallways.
He just stops people. Sometimes kids come in, he grabs them. Says, hey, kid.
He shakes them. And the kids are concerned and disturbed by this every time. And then there's no kid. It's just an invisible force that he's talking to. He's a sad person.
It's a little disturbing.
No, it's yeah. So like here's mine. Here's one of mine. It's an old SG, a very old SG I got from the 60s. Now this one's headstock has been broken as well. We'll show some close-up pictures. I don't really care. It plays great. It's a pretty decent repair. It's visible. I don't care about that either. It's one of the best SGs I've ever played.
It's
It's really good. You've taken this thing home.
I love it.
It's like, and I'm not a huge SG fan all the time.
But that's a good SG. That's a good guitar.
And I can feel like the neck break right there too.
Yeah, you can.
Feel it. It's not. It's not perfectly smooth. Like, I'm not gonna do anything until it pops off again. But this guitar sounds great. The neck carve is perfect. The pickups are phenomenal in it. I'm just gonna hold it for a bit more because it's fun to hold it
because it's awesome.
It sits so well. It's weighted right too. Some SGs are so light that like the headstock falls.
Head dive thing. Yeah.
It's got just the right weight.
Neck dive.
It's a neck dive.
Neck dive.
No, and this is something with Gibson and like in other guitars too. Like even like if it does with a Fender, you get a new neck. With a Gibson, you're kind of like stuck with that neck most of the time.
Yeah, don't buy a Fender with a headstock break. Yeah, Gibsons are primarily.
That's what we're talking about. I've seen this happen before. One of my friends, we were sitting there in the room and the headstock just broke. It just snapped off. Like nothing touched it. It was like a ghost. Like, and we just saw like go forward. It was like, that was horrifying. It was so depressing. And another one, like one of my students came back home and saw his Gibson Les Paul was sitting in the stand and the headstock was just like hanging off. I think it got knocked over by the dog or by someone at the house. And like, they just put it back up, not realizing.
That's fine.
Well, people don't realize these guitars are really expensive.
No.
I mean, I paid over $200 for this guitar.
Over dozens of dollars.
It's a lot of money for an instrument. We're gonna get comments on that probably, right?
I'm sure we are.
They're like, how did you pay so little for that guitar? I didn't pay much for this guitar. I found this at a really inexpensive, I think it was a garage sale or something. It's a 67 with some 71 parts on it. Dang. I didn't pay much for it. It was years ago. But it sounds so good.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard to find things like that at a garage sale these days. Maybe. I'm sure people, tell us in the comments if you found awesome things at garage sales.
Garage sales are still a thing.
Yeah.
It's, no, but it's like, it was a decent repair. We've seen horrible repairs. There are lots of them out there.
And I think with our original question, that's the issue, right? If you can be fairly confident, or the people selling it to you or people you trust, and they're fairly confident that it's a good repair, you're probably getting a cool guitar that you're saving money on because of the break. And you should take that into account, by the way. Like, obviously don't pay premium prices for a guitar with a broken headstock. But if you can get it for a great price, you think the repair is great, you're probably going to end up with a cool instrument that, it won't matter about the headstock being broken.
God, it makes me like, what a jerk if somebody's trying to like just gouge you for a broken headstock guitar too. Like, it's like, what's it? It's a 50s. You're like, it's still, man, it's guitar's broken.
Got a broken headstock.
I'll fix it. But we were talking about too, like with like a car. Like, would you ever buy a car that's been in an accident before? I would. Most of if let's say the tires have had to been replaced. That's a little different than a headstock, obviously. But let's say it's been in an accident. I mean, it's probably fine, but it's a similar thing. If it's been in a very dramatic accident, this is pretty traumatic too. That's about as major as it can get, I think, in a guitar. Unless it breaks right here.
Right, that's different.
Then I think you might be over.
Yeah.
I might be into that guitar.
But like this one is right on that joint anyways. So like that's kind of perfect, right? Glue it back together.
And I remember talking to someone at Gibson once about like that. They could fix this easily.
But that little like volute or whatever you call it.
Yeah, they could design this to where this doesn't happen anymore. But then it's not a Gibson anymore.
That wouldn't be fun.
It doesn't have like
it's like
that.
a game. When's it gonna pop off?
Well, hopefully that's not the reason they keep it. But it's just the design, like, and the imperfections. Like, Gibson necks are not perfect, and that's what's so perfect about them. There's like, you can never perfectly intonate it. The headstock's got this rare, but there's a magic to what they've come up with.
In tune.
This is not the guitar to buy if you want to be like perfectly in tune. But I don't. That's not my jam. I mean, that's weird to say that. Like, I just want to play the guitar, and I sort of bend to tune a lot when I'm playing because I do more lead work than I'm not playing chords as much on a guitar. That's true. Electric guitar in particular. So I don't mind the imperfections. I like it. I don't mind taking a risk on a broken toy. It's like the pound puppies. Those are often the best dogs. Those dogs that have been sitting there in the cage, like looking at you, like, I'll be a good dog.
So, side note, my children wanted pound puppies for Christmas this year. Like the old toys. You remember the old stuffed animals?
Yeah, of course. Really?
And there's like these 80s like retro ones. It is absurd how much those cost.
Or like, you're talking about the real old ones, or?
No. They're like, they're reissue pound puppies, I guess.
That's funny.
New old stock.
It's like the Cabbage Patch Kids next?
Yeah. I think you can get those now too.
That's ridiculous.
But the pound puppies, these was like the vintage. God, I don't know. I just remember thinking, holy.
Like $10?
No. Like, no, more than that.
Okay, I don't know. I have no. Will you have a frame? I don't know.
I don't remember. It was like 40, 50. It was like $30 maybe.
Okay, maybe that's. I don't know.
It was fine. It was just for these tiny little.
I don't know how
things.
much toys cost. I give my kids like trash bags and boxes. That's what they play with.
It's fair.
And like old books that I've read. Lots of sci-fi books from like the 70s and 80s. Here you go, kids. Enjoy these things. So
fantastic.
In the end, I think like take the chance unless it's completely shredded. Like they're not bad guitars. You can find a great guitar at a great price. Make sure, like, when you're going into it, if you are buying one that's worth something, like you have a luthier, maybe check it out with you.
Yeah.
Know what you're gonna get. And be thoughtful on it. But I think you can find a great guitar at a great price, and you have a little fun with it as well. Don't do the repair yourself unless you know what you're doing. Metal bolts, don't do that.
We like to put them in a chair, 2 chairs, and then Baxter jumps on the neck to make sure they're solid.
I do like to do that.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. To either one, broken headstocks or not.
Don't do that.
That's a horrible idea.
Yeah, let us know your experiences with the broken headstock journey and like if you have one, like, we'd love to hear about it. I think it's really cool. And share with all the folks out there that are like, commenting as well, like, and having fun. And it's a fascinating journey. Like, there's a lot of great pieces out there that can live a second or third life if you take the time to fix it up.
It is very true. Or if you think it's the worst idea ever and no one should ever buy a guitar with a broken headstock, tell us that too.
Okay, but if you just want to say mean things, don't tell us that.
Don't say mean things.
There's no need.
Be constructive.
Don't, or just about anything in general. Just be constructive and like support your fellows out there. Don't email us mean things either. Email us nice things, happy things about pound puppies.
But it's not nice.
It's not nice. Be nice. Be happy. And we hope you enjoy this morning too, or this afternoon, or this evening, whatever time this video finds you. Honestly, hope no matter how your day's been, I hope this brought like a moment of happiness and it's a little bit of information and a good dialogue too. That's all.
There you go. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. Click the bell so you don't miss videos in the future. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Jonathan.
There you go.